Hello, my beautiful friends. I am your friend Kevin. This is not only your Divine Daily Blast, but it is also a tarot reading for the week ahead. It's like a two-parter, if you will. Let's get right to all of it. Let's see. I've got to get on my right screen here. Excuse me. There we go. Ding dong. I've got two cameras set up here. Um, and I have a program that lets me click clack into each one of them. Not that you needed to know all that. Let's start with the moon. Now, I use Yasmin Boland's daily Moonology diary to bring this to you. And the moon is in Capricorn. So the Virgo season begins today. Happy Virgo birthdays. So it's a perfect time to get organized and declutter your home, your workplace, your car, your spaces. Good energy flows once the clutter goes. I love that saying. Good energy will flow when the clutter goes. Done. Now, angel numerology number 5 day today. In angel numerology, the number 5 primarily is about major life changes, personal freedom, adventure, adaptability. It is a divine message urging you to embrace upcoming transitions. And which we keep saying, let go of the past, let go of the past, let go of the past. I feel like there's a theme here, and it's been going on for a while. Like, live in the moment, live in the now, live in this particular bit. I think I spoke yesterday about photograph albums and bits and pieces. It feels like and seems like a lot of my kind, loving friends are doing this. Anyway, upcoming changes and transformation, embracing freedom, learning through experience. Be curious. Acquire wisdom through direct engagement with life. What's going on outside your window? What is happening in the ground? What's happening in the sky? What's happening with your animals? All of that stuff. It's also about personal growth and spiritual awakening. And seeing the number 5 signifies a period of rapid spiritual progress. So, where are you letting go of outdated beliefs? And where are you stepping into a higher version of you, of yourself, of your truth? So, now if you're seeing a 55, which is quite common, embrace your personal freedom, break free from limitations. If you are fortunate to see triple 5, it's a major life shift. Encourage us to trust the process. And as each 5, we're talking about quadruple 5s, suggests a profound spiritual shift and the opportunity to completely reinvent your life path. Now, many of you may be saying, well, I don't know what my life path is. Yes, you do. Anything that lights you up, makes you happy, makes you feel joy, makes you get that giddy, giddy, giddy up, let's go. That is your purpose. That is drawing you like a moth to a flame. Like, ooh, I like the way this feels. I like the way this looks. I like the way this everything in the world. All of that stuff. Let's move on to my isms. The universe adores me, particularly when you're joyful, particularly when you're letting go, particularly when you're releasing. My services are needed and will be greatly. Oh, hang on. Let me start that again. My services are needed and will be received with gladness. That's a mouthful. What services do you provide? They're needed. And how many people do you provide services to that are really grateful for your service? I am grateful for all that I have received so far and for what is on the way. There's always a flow. The golden gates of abundance. Let the fairies, the sylphs, the gnomes, the invisible helpers, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, let them open them up wide so you can receive their glory. Our angel activation card today is the wonderful Archangel Michael, clearing the way. Thank you, Michael, for clearing the road to my highest truth. And then we have Mayat. She's talking about increasing the love, but more importantly, she's bringing you a message of divine intervention. Whenever I see this, now that I've seen this card, I'm thinking of Diana Ross and the Supremes where she sung Stop in the Name of Love. Weigh up your options. Choose your highest good. Maya is kind of like part goddess from the Egyptian times and part angel, seeing things from a higher perspective, looking at things with greater clarity, and not being in such a rush to get to the end, not being in such a hurry to do it all. Things are going to flow and they're going to move forward, and you're always at the right place at the right time, even if you don't quite get that. You are. Louise Hay's daily diary message. I welcome change. I do not fear it. Change is good. Interesting. I don't know if Louise Hay, when they wrote this daily diary, really added up the date and said we're at a number 5, but it kind of goes with that. It sort of goes with change. And I'd say that Maya's message is saying, watch what happens and embrace it. Michael's saying, I'm clearing the way. This is a time of change. Know that all the roadblocks and challenges we've been facing are part of a great shift that's unfolding. People want to live in what they know, the comfort zone. Well, life begins at the end of that. Life becomes exciting, invigorating, challenging when we live outside of our comfort zone. Now, tarot card for today, and I will bring the rest of them in a minute, is the 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of the Wands is basically saying, stand where you stand. This is a day of conviction. And there may be a few competing demands, opinions, responsibilities, or even your own internal voices asking you to reconsider something. That's what change is about. If you're sitting back, taking a bird's eye view, talking to your inner being, what changes do you want to make? This isn't so much fighting. It's more maintaining your position without needing everybody else's opinion to validate it. The question for today might be, what do I know is worth standing up for? Even if I have to stand up there on my own. And we see this person on top of the tablets with the wands pointing upwards. Standing in the convictions. And that might mean take a step back and ponder. Like, what needs to be cleared? And that can include people and their opinions, because there's a lot of those going around. There's an awful lot of that energy. I told you so. I knew this was going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. And to that, I want to say, psst, quiet, sit down. Things are always changing. Embrace it. Be like, oof. And particularly when you're going through times that are a little bit strained, strenuous. Oh, I like that card. It's hiding. We can almost say, well, it's going to change. It's like the weather. It might be a bit cloudy this morning, but the sun's going to come out this afternoon. That kind of energy. Look, protect your dreams. Now, sometimes the fairies don't always land their message right where the day is. But this says you are a guardian of your precious dreams and they are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. I like this one because it basically is saying we're all going to embrace change a little bit differently. Your change might be part of a dream that you had. Protect your dreams. When somebody's going down a tangent of wah wah, you can say, how would you like me to help you? How would you like me? What would you like for me to do for you, with you? All right, my friends, that's it for part 1. I will be back for part 2 in just a moment, so stay tuned. All right, my friends, so this is your week ahead in tarot, August 23rd to the 29th in 2026. Now, we're in week number 35, and this is your kind of combo tarot, moonology. So let's start with our full moon in Pisces, which is coming up on Thursday. And here's the card for Thursday, being a magician. So the key words for this lunation is unpredictable release. Welcome changes. We just talked about that in the Daily Blast. Freedom. All of that. Now, this is not the time to cling on to old habits. The planet of Uranus has given us a shove away from old patterns and putting out the welcome mat for changes. We just got through saying that in our Daily Blast with the number 5. So this might feel intense for some of you and relief for other people. So if you're feeling on the edge, expect it to try to reconcile that. Our inner being is always going to find the balance for us. So this might feel a little tough. It might feel a little difficult to find that balance. Remember, everybody, the ones who are open and awake to change and the ones who are not interested in that. Uranus will most assuredly expect you to be flexible and to just go with the flow. Even when the outcome hasn't yet been revealed, it's kind of lightning before the clap of thunder happens. Now, your message for the whole week, and you can write this down, get your notepad. Don't be so busy looking for a miracle that you miss the magic already happening around you. Busy waiting for something to change while you're in it. Embrace the changes that are coming up. Now, this week's spread, that's all of these cards. We just got through talking about the 7 of Wands. It's very different personality-wise for this week. And what immediately catches my attention is the amount of fire and forward movement that's going on. Now, it gets interrupted on Tuesday by the Empress, pretty much midweek. And back for the second Tuesday in succession with the same card. Unusual, but time to pay attention. She is at the heart of this whole week's reading. So I'm not going to go treat her reoccurrence as either old energy or completely new energy. And she's serving us the continuation lesson, entering into a second chapter. Now, last Tuesday, the Empress appeared between the 4 of Coins and the 7 of Cups. Well, in that story, we interpret her movement from contraction into abundance. We loosen the grip. We receive, we nurture, we allow something to grow. Now, this week, she's surrounded by the Chariot, right here, and the 5 of Wands. 2. Whoosh. That's quite different. Now she's sitting between 2 cards of movement. The Chariot says, go, 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 go. The 5 of Wands say, oh, hold on a minute. Hang on a minute. It's coming, but are you making the right choices? And the Empress sits between them saying, grow. Last week, she's saying, can you allow yourself to receive? And this week she's saying, can you trust what's begun to grow without interfering with it? You see the picture? There's also bigger energy forecasts here. It's striking because the 7 of Wands, Chariot, Empress, 5 of Wands, Magician, Knight of Swords, and the Sun. 7 cards. 7 movements forward. This isn't a passive week by any means. It's a progression from defending your position, bang, to confidently inhabiting it, bang. And Sunday begins with resistance. Saturday ends with illumination. So right in the middle sits our lady, our Empress, and she matters. What she's saying is that the way through the week isn't simply to push harder, it's to know when to push and know when to receive. We got the Chariot. Hang on a minute. Where's it? Oh, yeah, we've got the Chariot right here. The 5 of Wands right here. The Knight of Swords right here. Um, we can all move quickly with these cards. The Seven of Wands can become rather defensive. Right here, sorry. The Magician can become quite intensely focused on making something happen. And then the Empress, wow. There's a whole different story this week. She interrupts everything by saying, darling, if you're allowed life, what if you allowed life to help you, is what she's saying. That's at the core healing in this spread, with the 4 major arcanas in 7 days. 4 major arcana cards: Chariot, Empress, Magician, Sun. That's a pretty significant week. I would personally treat this week as I would treat this week as a week where the everyday events might carry a larger developmental message. So my bonus intuitive message this week, something else came to me while I was looking at this whole spread a few minutes ago. Stop confusing resistance with the stop sign. Sometimes resistance means no, and sometimes it can appear precisely because we're moving beyond something familiar. These cards don't seem to tell the adventurer to retreat. Quite the opposite. The cards are saying stand, move, receive, respond, create, spark, shine, speak. And there's more. And there's your entire week in 7 cards. Quite intuitive. The question I'd leave everybody with this spread would be, let's go back to this camera. What would you be inspired to do? Or what would you move towards this week if you stopped requiring the road ahead to be planned out for you? I'm hoping I'm making sense. What would you move towards if you just really didn't know what was going on? How would that land for you? This is where the shifting and the changing comes. We really don't know. We really have no clue. However, if we can switch it around and say, I've got a little bit of headway here. I've got the tarot to guide me in a forward movement. But I also know I've got to land in my feet. I've got to land where I grow. I've got to land in what I'm doing now. Flexible, adaptability. Ooh, let's see what we can do with this. You get the impression that we have to be present to where we are and see how it plays out. We can't always guarantee that the road ahead is going to lead to success, but we can guide it in that direction. When we start to embrace our higher being, our non-physical energies, guardian angels, spirit guides, archangels, all of them do not want us to fall apart. The difference between failure and success is you and me and how we look at it. We do our best with whatever we're doing. We give it a go no matter what. And more importantly, see what happens. Look at it like, let's see what happens. I think we've been trained and we've been taught in our whole life that we're supposed to map out what's going on. Well, sure, if you're planning a railway station or you're planning a building or you're developing a whole town, well, you kind of have to know where you're starting and the plan that you want to take. But think about developers that develop a town. I live in a town right now that's going through an amazing growth. Some might look at it like, oh my gosh, how much more can you do? Others might look at it like, this is exciting. People who have moved here the last little while might say, my goodness gracious me, this is colossal. People who have lived here for a while like I have, could look at it like, I'm not sure I like all this change quite this much, and I'm not sure I'm ready for all this traffic. Either way, you can stand in the moment of whoa. Yesterday there was a post office there. Well, today it's gone. There's a whole building going up. That's growth. That's transition. And it's happening, whether we like it or not. Best to get on with it, but to go with the flow and find out what was the question? What would you move towards this week if you stopped requiring the road ahead to be successful for you? Well, my friends, that's it from me. I'll be back every single day. I'll bring the card with me and I'll do a reading on each card and see how it flows. Until then, bye for now.